Good morning. So today I'm going to talk to you about having a new mindset. You know, when we become believers, something changes and it transforms inside of our heart. And we get this transformation on the inside where we begin to have new desires, new thoughts. We have a new path laid out in front of us. But the problem with all that is that we still have this old mindset that has been programmed and is very detrimental to us. So a lot of times in this new walk, we get discouraged because we still got this old thinking going on up here. And so this new life is all about transforming those thoughts and that they conform to the new heart and the mindset that you have. I knew that I had a different mindset and that things begin to change because I began to desire better things. And what began to happen was the negative things that I was doing, I didn't want to do them any longer. And that's how you know the transformation, this heart transformation is happening, because you look at your life and you look at certain activities and certain behaviors and you do them, but you don't really want to do them anymore. And so these desires begin to change and transform you. So I was reading in Matthew there about the new wine and the putting the wine, new wine and the wineskins and all of that. I'll read it for you so it makes more sense. But people don't pour new wine into old wineskins. If they do, it'll burst. If you want to look at that, that's Matthew 9:16. But Jesus was saying that this new way is totally incompatible with the old. This new way of living, this new mindset, this new path is totally incompatible with the old system. And of course, he was talking about religion and the Jewish law, how they twisted it and made all these commandments of men, and they made acceptance and approval with God depending upon, all these commandments and all these rules. But what he was saying is that this new way is just incompatible with the old, and that's the truth. That's the truth up here, right? We got this old way of thinking, this old program, this old system, and it's totally incompatible with the new. But here's the reality. It's hard to put a new paradigm, a new belief inside of a fixed mindset. See, a fixed mindset is something that's closed. A fixed mindset has it all figured out. It's a closed mind. It's fixed. This is the way it is. And it's hard to get new ideas inside of that mindset. And so what has to take place is a humility and an open mind to see the possibilities, to see something from a different perspective, and to gain a new paradigm. You see, the crazy thing about all this is that insanity, we all know what insanity is, right? It's doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Pretty popular saying. But we can't get the desired outcomes that we want with the old way of thinking. The old way of thinking has got us into trouble. The old way of thinking has got us into addictions, to pain, to trauma. And that way of thinking will never get us the results that we want. So that's insanity. So it's taking a look at your current behavior and the results that you're getting and saying, you know what, I'm going to have to try something different because this is not working. Now, if you're in the road of recovery and you're doing sobriety, your old way of thinking is what got you in trouble to begin with, right? And so this new way of sobriety is totally incompatible with the old way. I think Paul put it this way. He said, all things have become new. All things have become new. So we have these new heart desires. We have this new passion. We have this new focus. The only thing that needs to take place is the renewing of this mind, because it's still set on the old pattern and the old ways. And this is why you can be a believer and still be stuck in old habits and routines. This is why, as a believer, you could still be stuck in detrimental mindsets that are affecting your life. you're wondering why you're broke all the time, it's because there is a mindset attached to that and a belief system that is keeping you in that state and in that condition. And it all has to do with the renewing of your mind. You see, God's ways are backwards. They're quite different from the ways of the world. And it's impossible for God to mix, for us to hold on to this old life and still walk in the new. It's the abandonment of the old ways, the old way of thinking, the old way of life, to walk in newness of life. And it's a surrendering process. It goes something like this. I have thoughts and belief systems. I have paradigms. I have mindsets that are incompatible with my new life. The new life where God wants me to thrive, where he wants me to passionately pursue purpose, where he has a vision and destiny for my life. All of those things are the new way of thinking, the expansion of our heart and our mind. And it comes through letting go of the old. See, God's ways are backwards. You got to go down to go up. You got to serve to become great. You got to be humble to rise. And all of these things, they go against what we naturally think. And so what needs to happen is that we must abandon the old way of thinking for the new. And it happens something like this. We get inspiration from God through meditation, through reading, through another brother, through church or whatever. And we get this new inspiration, this new idea. And what happens is it begins to challenge our old way of thinking and our old way of doing things. So we face this decision and this choice. And then we have a choice to make. Are we going to believe this new thought and this new idea? Or are we going to hold on to the old? And the results of our life are directly correlated to that decision. We wonder why we're going around the same problems, the same circle, same thing over and over again. Because when we come to the point in the decision, we make the wrong one. And we choose to hold on to our detrimental beliefs that are destroying our marriages, destroying our body, destroying our business. So what's God's way? God's way is a new way, a new path, a new mindset, and new behaviors. This is all about walking in the newness of life. Like I said, brothers and sisters, you have been given a transformation of your heart. Your heart has been changed. You desire new positive things, and you've been given a new heart. But your mind is the battlefield. The mind is where you are faced with this challenge to, am I going to believe the truth or not? So here's the question. Are we willing to forsake the old patterns, the old way of thinking, the old mindsets that have brought us so much pain? And here's the reality. The old mindset, the old beliefs, they have brought us so much pain. You see, Christ did not come to repair that life, to make that life better. He didn't come to patch you up and send you on your way. No. That old life has been destroyed. It has come to an end. And you've been given a new heart and a new path and a new life. So now's the time to begin to yield to that process and begin to renew our minds. You see, to be a disciple, I believe it's far different from being a believer. Many people come up and they make professions of their faith and they say the magic words and all of those things, and that's fine and dandy. But there's something different about being a disciple, and that is this: that I'm going to build my life. I'm going to build my life on the teachings of Jesus Christ and what he laid out for me. And for that to begin to take place, I'm going to have to say, you know what? I'm going to let go of my view and opinion, and I'm going to accept his. And that works like this. You read something that says, forgive your brother their trespasses. And you have unforgiveness in your heart. The old way of thinking is you hold on to that grudge and let that anger and that bitterness fester. But the new way says forgive, release, and let go. And so I must surrender my way of thinking, the old way that brings pain, for this new way that brings life. Now, when you look at this scenario, it plays out in every single area of our lives. Are we going to accept his view and opinion and release our own? I want you to look at your life, in your family, faith, fitness, and finance, and I want to ask this question. Where in your life are you holding on to the old way? And it's not getting you the results that you want. The old system, the old beliefs, the old paradigm, and it's causing you some suffering. You're suffering that. I don't need to look very far just to look at your marriage. If your marriage is mediocre and it's suffering, I could tell you that you're holding on to the old mindsets. If you're in poverty and you're not producing, then I could tell you you're holding on to one of these detrimental mindsets from the past. And so you look at the area of your life, you look where you're struggling, you look where there's lack, whether it be health and nutrition, I can guarantee you, you're holding on to an old negative mindset. Where in your life is this taking place? And are you willing to release it and let it go? I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.